Hey guys, Conical here. Sonic 3 is a beloved game. Many Sonic fans consider it to be their favorite Sonic game, or even the best game of all time. And while I understand their stance, I also think that's ridiculous. I love this game, it's very fun, but it has an issue. It's gimmicks, and other annoying, boring, or unfair level design choices. Sonic 3 is a gimmick mountain. And since this game won the poll I held, I kinda have to talk about it. I don't know where else to put this, but I played Sonic 3 Air with some mods and settings that may make it different from the original game, but level design differences will not be taken into account here. Enjoy! So I am going to break down every single zone in the game and explain my feelings on them. Welcome to Cool Kid 95. We hope you enjoy your stay. Angel Island Zone. Angel Island is a good opening level. It makes a pretty good first impression of the game, especially with the cutscenes and Fire Breath's mini-boss. But the second act has some annoying platforming sections. The biggest problem with it is the fact that there's no checkpoint between the airship escape segment and boss. You have to do both in a row without dying. This is a big issue since the Egg Scorcher Mark III can be a bit challenging, and having to do the same airship chase section every time just to get back to the boss is annoying. Hydro City Zone. Apparently people like this zone. It's garbage. One of the worst zones in the whole classic Sonic series, I feel. It's a water level with a ton of annoying badniks. The spiky fish and missile guys are fine, but the turbo spikers and those ring-draining fish suck. The stage is full of these annoying rotating pillar things you have to do platforming on, and the fans that push you up vertically suck too. It's very time-consuming, and they can be a little hard to navigate. At least the level has fast running sections, but there's these annoying hands that try to launch you, and you have to wait a while for them to actually launch you. They, ironically, just slow down the pace of the level. And worst of all, they're required for some sections. And those little 2B sections that I'm talking about, those spiral thingies, I don't know what they're called. If you just happen to go into debug mode while going up or down one of them, you'll get stuck. You'll get soft locked and you'll have to start the level over. The mini boss sucks too. It's hard to hit, not very fun. The major boss is a little annoying, but I still enjoy him. He's a pretty good boss, actually. Marble Garden Zone. It's garbage. The setting of this stage is a really cool idea, but it's just not done well. The spinning tops are a bitch to control, and the enemies all feel out of place. They're not bad, though. Well, Bubbles kinda is. When it has its spikes out, you can't hurt it, even while invincible. It's a little oversight, but it can be pretty jarring and annoying. The oil pits feel weird and out of place, too, but they aren't a big issue. I just really don't like the tops. There's a worse gimmick in the game. At least the mini-boss is great. Very fun and simple. The major boss, though, just stinks. It's long and boring and annoying. Absolute garbage. But I must say, encountering the bosses and cutscenes as the adventures of the level is pretty neat. The level shifting gimmick is also cool. But it's still kind of weird that they do it in the ruins level and, I don't know, not the cave level. Carnival Night Zone. This stage is one of my favorites, yet I have a bunch of issues with it. I'm pretty sure I only like it so much due to the music. The gimmicks are still mostly terrible though. Annoying balloon platforms that are slow as hell and annoying to control, annoyingly placed springs, and those spinny circles of bumpers, and those rotating bar cages and fans to an extent. Just terrible. But the speed boosters in balloons are fun. Platforming with the balloons is fun too. They just don't get enough situations to truly shine. The barrels are alright though. I actually kind of like them. They're pretty interesting. And for the elephant in the room, the Barrel of Doom. It's annoying to get past, but it's not awful. It would be fine if they had a hint on how to use it in that room or something. Maybe a sign with up and down arrows on it. I feel like the idea was to make the barrel a puzzle you have to figure out, but it's just not a well-designed puzzle. The mini-boss is alright. I like the idea, but it could be better. The major boss is good too. Not too much to say here. Also, Knuckles turning out the lights is a cool idea, but the flooding doesn't really make any sense, especially since there are no walls to keep the water from flowing out the sides. But whatever, that's not a big deal. What?
Are you here?
Wait, what?
Are you watching my stream right now?
I'm looking at it some while I read. Oh, hey, I like that. Starting Sapiens, starting Sentience, starting Color Wheel. Starting Humor? Did one of them say starting Charm? Aww. Flying Battery Zone. Not hitting the stage. The monkey bars are fine, and the platforming section near the beginning of the first act isn't very good. But the music is nice and the enemies are good. The capsules put around the level had a nice level of immersion that I like. And the parts where you spin from one propeller stick to the other is a lot worse than in Sonic Mania. It's a cool idea, but it's not refined like in that game. You don't get blown above them, and it's easy to accidentally climb into the blades. The bombing sections are interesting, but it's a bit of a pace breaker. This level has some flaws, but it's mostly good enough, actually. Except the flamethrower springs. Some of them are placed in some pretty bullshit places, and it's nearly impossible not to get hit. The Gap Zoom mini-boss is good and a great concept. The Barrier Eggman mini-boss is boring. The Rising Floor segment is alright, and the Hangmobile is a good major boss. Ice Cap Zone. This level is also overrated, but it has a strong opening. The snowboard section is really cool, and the fact that if you're like me and using the original intended level order mods to make the snowboard the flying battery door you just busted open is a wonderful piece of continuity, and makes the experience more immersive. Too bad after you fall into the cave all the wonder and fun ends, except for the music. The music's top notch. The big issue here is the hanging springs. They are annoying to use and not very fun. A real pace breaker. Take a shot every time I say a real pace breaker. The platforms you move by spin dashing to give them momentum are a really cool idea, but they could work better. One of them has a jump that I just cannot make without Tails or debug mode. I have no idea how to make it. It's really just not good. The level is also just kind of boring, I feel. The mini-boss is alright, and so is the major boss, though the latter can be kind of annoying to fight, especially at the last phase, and especially if you're playing as Knuckles. Launch Base Zone. I like how it says starting charisma. Oh, sorry, I'm on VC. Excellent music again, and the level looks pretty good. I really enjoy it, and it's probably mostly due to the music. The level could certainly be better, though, but it's definitely one of the best levels in the game, if not the best. Probably because the gimmicks aren't terrible. The red Amoga's fire alarm looking button things are interesting, but could probably be utilized better. Not a big fan of the enemies, but I do like how fast-paced the level is. The mini-boss Twin Hammer is great, and the 3-phase major boss is pretty cool too. I just wish there was a checkpoint after the first phase because of the long cutscene you have to sit through. First phase is alright. A bit annoying, but still good. The cutscene is great and kind of funny. Just wish it could be skipped or something to make up for the lack of a checkpoint. Second phase is annoying. It can be pretty hard if you're not very patient like me. Third phase, aka Big Arms, is great. Cool atmosphere and music, and a great challenge. Trying to use the insta-shield to damage us to the floor is pretty cool too. Great boss, one of the best in the whole game. Thumbs up. Mushroom Hill Zone. Pretty meh zone. Not so good enemies, alright music. Meh bosses, meh gimmicks. The whole season change thing is cool though. I like the idea of the mini-boss with that whole axe thing. Aw, he left the call. I should have paid more attention to him. Now I feel bad. Sandopolis Zone. This level, man, it's not very good. The scorpion enemies are annoying, and the walking rocks are harmless, and I'm confused as to what they even do. The caterpillars are good, though. The whole switch pushing time to door puzzle things are just really annoying and boring. Ruins the pace. Act 2 is full of them, tragically enough, along with some areas where the room fills with sand and you have to not get crushed. Pretty cool idea. Could have been done better, but it's still a positive part of the level. The ghosts in Act 2 suck. Luckily, you could turn them off in Sonic 3 Air, which makes the level much better. Too bad it still sucks either way. Just sucks less. Act 2 also just has this annoying and confusing sand slide section with a bunch of exits. But all the exits just go to secret areas and big rings, and I can't actually figure out how to make progress. I needed to use debug mode to actually get past it. Mini-boss is a cool idea. The Rising Pyramid is a really cool scene. Just wish the mini-boss was better designed. It's not clear when he can be hit, and it seems he always hurts you when you hurt him for some reason. Doesn't make any sense because he's not spiky or anything, just a stone golem. I like the whole puzzle approach for this boss and how it can be solved/defeated in 2 ways. It just could have been better though. The major boss is alright. May not be the most fun boss, but it's not bad either. Thankfully it looks really fucking cool and brings that boss up. Weird, a brick golem sphinx thing with laser eyes? Sign me up. Lava Reef Zone. Weird name, good music, alright level. Its biggest pro is having distinct acts with different gimmicks. It's an alright stage, though those spinny cylinders are pretty annoying and hard to use, and those spin dash elevators are a real pace breaker. The mini boss is terrible. Neat idea, but it's a nightmare to actually hit, especially if you're ADHD like me. It's just so needlessly long and boring. Absolute garbage! The boss gets its own act, Act 3, and that one is just all around terrible. The auto-scroller idea is neat, but it's just not fun, especially since the boss is timed and very samey. I don't think anyone likes it. Hidden Palace Zone. Short but sweet. The Knuckles boss is pretty good, but it can be a bit unclear when you can hit him sometimes. It's a good challenge, though, and the cutscene where Eggman betrays Knuckles is great, too. But it does get a little slow near the end, but it's not a big deal. Sky Sanctuary Zone. I have mixed feelings about it. Good music and very iffy level design. It can be too annoying and vertical. The best character to play as here is ironically Knuckles, despite him not being able to enter this act normally. You can really tell it was made by echidnas, since they're the only ones who can have a truly enjoyable time in this level. The boss fights with Mecha Sonic are great too. The utilization of old bosses from Sonic 1 and 2 was a cool way to show you're nearly at the end of your journey. Feels very climactic, and I love it. I just wish the final fight with him was longer. He goes down too quickly, and it feels a bit underwhelming due to that. The transition cutscene to the Death Egg is great though. Knuckles' act for this level is interesting, just as final boss. The first phase is just Mecha Sonic again, but was the final boss music, while the second phase has the super final boss music. It's a great idea. Mecha Sonic steals the Master Emerald and uses it to go super, and you can only hit him while he recharges. Too bad it's not nearly as good as it sounds. Great concept, terrible execution. The actual fight is just way too slow. The actual fight is just too long and slow and boring. It's just waiting around and waiting around and waiting around where he doesn't really do much to you. Lame. Also, why can't Knuckles just punch Mecha Sonic out of a super state? That's something he can do. If he can do it to Sonic, then why can't he do it to Mecha Sonic too? Weird plot hole. Death Egg Zone. This level sucks, man. Long, annoying, and boring. In debug mode, the gravity switching on the fly mechanic is something I adore. But here it's not used very well. The entire level is just bleh. Act 1 has the section Zero Gravity that's a cool puzzle where you have to hit all of the weird mover bumper things buttons. Neat idea, but it's not very good. At least it looks really cool, though. The bosses are a mixed bag. Red Eye is cool, but also kind of annoying. Dust Ball is just kind of boring, but the mechanic is actually kind of interesting and pretty creative, actually. Death Big Robot is a mixed bag. Phase 1 is easy peasy. Phase 2 is pretty cool, and Phase 2 is a great bad dash to defeat Dr. Eggman. I just wish there were rings. You can enter Act 3 with rings, but if you die, you can't get any more. And it kind of sucks, to be honest. Final boss music being used here is great, though. The Doomsday Zone. Pretty neat idea. Usage of super final boss music here is great, as that's a great song. Like the level's concept of chasing Dr. Eggman through space, dodging asteroids, getting him to hit himself in the face with his own missiles, and chasing the mini Death Egg robot through space at the end. That's really cool on paper, but it's just kind of long and annoying. The last part is pretty tense, though. It's honestly kind of fun. Maybe even pretty fun. But it's just a bit too annoying for my taste. Especially with those egg bombs constantly hitting you. Blech. That's about it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Only 1/20th if you guys are subscribed. And comment your thoughts. Feel free to join my Discord server. The perfect place for any Cool Kid 95 fan. Make sure to stay tuned for future reviews. Side B of my Fossil Fighters review. Reviews for certain movies we've added to our watch list, like Noah's Shark, Bigfoot vs. Megalodon, Asian Toby Barks, and more could be coming in the future. Stay tuned.